he did not have him in his top 40. He had at least 8 backups around the league. Actually, more than that, it's got to be 9. I think Jalen was the only one of the 32 starters who was not in the top 40. He did a disservice to him, and he ticked off a lot of Eagle fans. And he had to eat some crow, and to his credit, he did. And he did it in season last year, too. When Jalen was winning games for the Eagles, he did say, this kid is better than I thought he was going to be or could be. He has him in the top 40 this year. He has him in the top 30 this year. He has him in the top 25. And that's where he has him ranked at number 25. Chris Sims, Pro Football. Why can't I? Pro Football Talk. I couldn't think of the website. He's on Pro Football Talk on streaming on Peacock as well. Former NFL quarterback, has become a fairly high-profile pro football analyst the last couple of years, and he's good. I've actually done some shows with him. He's a good dude. Don't always agree with his take and his slants, but he is a good guy, and he does back his stuff up with a lot of research and his determined facts. Last year, he determined that Jalen Hurts coming into the season was not one of the top 40. 40. There's only 32 teams, and he did not have Jalen Hurts, who we all knew coming into the season was going to be the Eagles' starting quarterback. He did not have him in his top 40. He had at least 8 backups around the league. Actually, more than that, it's got to be 9. I think Jalen was the only one of the 32 starters who was not in the top 40. He did a disservice to him, and he ticked off a lot of Eagle fans. And he had to eat some crow, and to his credit, he did. And he did it in season last year, too. When Jalen was winning games for the Eagles, he did say, this kid is better than I thought he was going to be or could be. He has him in the top 40 this year. He has him in the top 30 this year. He has him in the top 25. And that's where he has him ranked at number 25 coming into the season. So he hasn't vaulted him to the top 10 or anything else. But there is not the disrespect factor this year at number 25 rather than not even in the top 40.
Everybody thinks there's disrespect, Jody.
At 25?
Yeah. Oh, my God. I got so much. Who is this guy? First of all, it's Chris's opinion. All right. He's allowed to have his opinion. You're allowed to disagree with his opinion. And if you want to disagree with his opinion, you could go look for somebody else's opinion. I brought up the MVP odds yesterday on the show, and I'm looking at them and going, what the hell's going on here? This is a Mitchell Trubisky-like situation a couple of years ago when everybody latched on and said, well, maybe there's some value here. And all of a sudden the odds go way down on Jalen Hurts to be the MVP of this league. One thing I'm very comfortable in is Jalen Hurts is not going to be the MVP of this league. And I'm also very comfortable in saying Jalen Hurts is not going to be the 25? 25th best quarterback in this league. He's going to be higher than that. So as I said, you have both extremes. If you want to live on the extremes, feel free, but then you can come back to sanity with the rest of us. Chris is probably not, for whatever reason. And if you look, he hasn't put out his entire top 40 list. So
right, we don't even know who the top 20 is,
right? Yeah. So he said, he puts it out in 5 increments. So I guess yesterday was 21 to 25.
Correct.
I think the biggest problem for fans is who he had ahead of him.
Right.
In that 21 to 25, and I think it was Daniel Jones. It was plus the rookies from last year who didn't play well: Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, and Jody's guy, Zach Wilson. So to me, if I look at that and I say, well, Chris is obviously looking at traits. Then he's a traits guy. He's looking at traits because and we talked about it in the draft. Last year, there was nobody. And I remember saying this because I asked Daniel Jeremiah this on a conference call. Where would Jalen Hurts be amongst this sort of group of quarterbacks? And I'm talking about the Lawrence class. And, he said, not close. So from a trait standpoint, I think you have that projection part of it that obviously he is taking into account, because there's no way you can argue that Jalen Hurts isn't a more proven commodity than Justin Fields or Zach Wilson. And even if you want to lean on Trevor Lawrence's status as the number one overall pick, wasn't good last year.
Right. Hurts put up better numbers than any of those three guys. I don't have a problem with it. I think you're doing a nice job of explaining it. The part of Chris's list has to be projection, that he is looking into the future and thinking what they can show this year as compared to their rookie year. My problem is Daniel Jones. What is Daniel Jones? Daniel Jones is not a rookie. Daniel Jones isn't living off possibility. Daniel Jones is kind of a proven commodity at this stage of his career. And guess what? The proof's in the pudding. He ain't good. That's where my problem lies with Chris Sims. If he wants to project and hold on to, hey, these guys were taken 1, 2, and 11 in the draft last year. Jalen Hurts was taken in the second round. All right, fine. You can go there, and I understand that. But Daniel Jones is now a fourth year. He's been in the league, been there, not done that. How is Jalen Hurts ranked behind Daniel Jones when Daniel Jones has more? If you're looking at potential and you're looking at upside, Jalen Hurts has got more upside than Daniel Jones, and he hasn't been as bad as Daniel Jones when Daniel Jones is being Daniel Jones.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly would put Jalen ahead of Daniel Jones, but we have some of those same sort of traits-based arguments as a former top 10 pick, Daniel Jones.
How long does the traits-based argument?
Well, maybe when your dad played for the team, I don't know. Maybe there's a little Giants.
At some point, you just gotta go, hey, the traits are what they are. You played in the league long enough that we can judge your traits by what you've done rather than what we projected you were going to do when you were drafted.
Maybe there is a little Giants bias, but I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here. Daniel is 25 years old. It's not like he's 100 years old. He is 6'5". He is 230. What was he, the sixth pick, Jody? You saw him run.
He was about 45 picks too early.
Yeah. You saw him run. When we talk about traits, you saw him run whatever it was, 75 yards and get caught by the turf monster. But, when people laugh about it.
Be careful. You can trip over that 5-yard line.
Yeah.
That's why I think to get over.
And I get why people laugh at it, but you got to be athletic enough to go that 75 yards in the NFL, which is those traits I'm talking about. Look, I would put Jalen Hurts above Daniel Jones. I don't think Daniel Jones is going to be a starting quarterback next year. I think we've seen enough. I agree with you. I'm just trying to explain why my assumption is that Chris Sims would put him at that level. And probably there is a little Giants bias. But I guess the bigger point is, it's one guy's opinion. Who cares? Why do people get so upset about it? Jalen Hurts will define his own future and his own sort of status as the Eagles quarterback. And it's got nothing to do with Chris Sims. And if you want to find the other end of the spectrum, as I said, it's easy to find. So I don't know why people get so worked up about
it. Because we're fans. And I'm okay with that. Sometimes people get worked up about it. And again, you just suggested, and you didn't state it, you just suggested it as a possibility, almost as the devil's advocate. Could there be a New York bias there since his father was the quarterback of the Giants as long as I don't know that. I honestly don't. And if anything, knowing Chris just a little bit, I don't want people to think I know him well. I know him in passing, hosted a couple of shows in the same studio with him for a couple hours. That's about it. If anything, I think he tries to be the anti-Phil Sims rather than the pro-Phil Sims. So I don't know if that's got anything to do with it or not, that he's a quote-unquote New York Giant kind of guy. I just think he's missing a boat here. Sorry. I just think he's flat out wrong.
Well,
you can be wrong.
Yeah.
Experience as he is, former NFL quarterback, been around it in his life, doesn't mean you're guaranteed to get it right. And I think he is wrong.
He was wrong last year, by the way, Jody, and he admitted he was wrong last year, but he just hasn't gone up to the level of where fans think he could be. And where should Jalen Hurts be? I don't know, probably right 15, right in that range. I haven't gone down the list. I don't even know
if I'd have him that high. I got only one beef so far. Since we're using Chris Sims' list to have this conversation and this debate, I'll even accept Lawrence and Fields and Wilson ahead of him. We'll find out that much more. It'll be a better comp after this season, and we see what those sophomore guys do and what Jalen does in his third season. Let's wait and let's see that. I've seen enough of Daniel Jones. The grade is in. It's not you only got 2 out of your 4 grade. His grade is in. KP can't play, period. And he's got Jalen Hurts, who had a solid year for a first-year starter, imperfect. We know what his strengths are. We know what his weaknesses are. His team won 9 games and made it to the playoffs, Daniel Jones' team. And I know he was hurt, and his backups flat out stunk, but the team wasn't good when he was there either. Daniel Jones hadn't done anything in his career other than, as you said, run 70 yards and got tripped by the 5-yard line. That's the highlight of his career, falling down with nobody near him. That's not a good highlight at the top of your resume list.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're right. And, I'm guessing, and you know Chris better than me, even because you know him in passing. I don't know him at all. I'm just, speculating about the Giants and stuff. So if it isn't the Giants, then I'm going to go towards, all right, he's 25, he's 6'5", he's 230. Chris, he runs like he runs. He throws like he throws. Chris is probably like a lot of coaches in this world who think they can fix anything and say, give me those traits and I can fix this and I can make this guy a good quarterback. And it doesn't necessarily work that way. And that's the part where we talk about, I don't know Chris Sims. Well, Chris Sims doesn't know Jalen Hurts. And most people who don't know Jalen Hurts and sort of harp on, he doesn't do this, he doesn't do this, he's not 6'5", he's not 230, blah, blah, blah. He doesn't have the arm. They don't know his work ethic. They don't know his intangibles. They don't know his leadership ability. They don't know he's improved every year. They don't know he's going out to California to work on his deficiencies with Tom House and Adam Dado. They don't know all that. So, those are the things that make evaluation so hard. Because if you would have told me last year, Jody, that Jalen Hurts, I'll put it this way. If you would have given me the choice, Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, Jalen Hurts, I would have picked Jalen Hurts 4th every single time. Every single time. Now, 12 months later, you ask me, I'm still taking Trevor Lawrence. The other 2, I'll debate it. I'll say I might rather have Jalen Hurts. I might rather have Jalen Hurts.
No,
and that's improvement.
Here's how I would look at it. And I'm not going to score points with the Jalen Hurts fans here. I'll still take those 3 guys instead of Jalen Hurts. But we're not talking about 3 guys. We're talking about 4 who are in front of him. Give me the choice. Jalen Hurts, Wilson, Lawrence, Fields, or Daniel Jones. Guess who's 5th out of that group? Daniel Jones. Prior to last year, before Jalen ever started, I would have ranked him 5th. And coming off this year, I still rank him 5th.
Yeah, I have no problem with that. I'm just trying to figure out Chris's level of thinking. And I think it's the same one with all 4. I think we're putting, Daniel's still very young, and it's the same argument with the other 3. It's just that we've seen more of them, but he's still only 25 years old. It's not like he's 35 years old. There are other quarterbacks like, I was looking real quick. Where would I put Jalen Hurts on my top 25 list. And if you go the obvious ones coming off the board, Jody, the Rodgers, the Josh Allens, the Tom Brady's, Burrow, Herbert, Stafford, Kyler Murray, Dak Prescott. How many we had? And then you start getting to that Patrick Mahomes, who, I'm going to get in trouble with the Patrick Mahomes people, would be right at the top. Those are the obvious ones. And then you start debating. And there's some guys like, I didn't mention Russell Wilson. Russell's got to be up there as well. Matt Ryan, for instance. Are you taking Jalen Hurts over Matt Ryan? Well, no. Maybe long term for this season.
If you're just talking about projections for the upcoming season, I think you'd have to give Ryan a nod over Jalen at this point.
Yeah, so do I. Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is a better quarterback right now. Would I rather have Jalen long term? Yeah, probably. But right now, he's not Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins is going to put up better numbers than Jalen is.
So
I give you a nod. Derek Carr is going to put up better.
Derek Carr.
Adams. He's going to put up better numbers than Jalen is this year.
There's a lot of good quarterbacks, so it's not as outrageous 25 as it might seem on paper, especially when you start to bring in the projection standpoint, because Trevor Lawrence is, if you talk to scouts in this league, I kept hearing two names: best quarterback prospect since Andrew Luck. Some said best quarterback prospect since Peyton Manning.
Right.
That's what they thought of Trevor Lawrence. Now, 1 year in the worst organization in the NFL, maybe it did ruin him, but he's got a lot of skill to work with. So I can't kill somebody for projecting Trevor Lawrence as better than Jalen Hurts. Daniel Jones, yeah, maybe it just comes down to Daniel Jones.
Yeah, that's it. And by the way, Peyton Manning did not have a real good rookie year, and he was able to get over that. I'm not saying that Trevor Lawrence will be Peyton Manning, but before you bury Trevor Lawrence because he had a struggle in his rookie season, it's happened to guys who are going to end up in the Hall of Fame. So have a little patience there. I only got one issue, and yes, Sims has his top 20 yet to go. He's only up to number 21. The guys who are ahead of him, I only got one issue so far, Daniel Jones. And there's a real good chance that Daniel Jones might be the only guy that I have an issue with. That of the top 20, I got no issues of them being ranked ahead of Jalen Hurts. But, yeah, Daniel Jones.
We're going to get in trouble, Jody. We're haters.
Haters on who, Jalen?
Yeah. I guess.
No. He had the season he had last year. I'm hoping he makes us look bad going into this upcoming season, and he forges his way into the top 12, certainly into the top half. Get into the top half, that's top 16. I hope he absolutely gets there. Can't say it yet. He hasn't put up the numbers yet. Other guys have. But he's outperformed Daniel Jones in any way, shape, form, or metric you want to use. He's been better than Daniel Jones. And the one that I use more than any is quarterback rating. He had a better quarterback rating. And, oh, by the way, he rushed for 10 touchdowns, which doesn't count in quarterback rating. Tack that on. It's not even close, the comparison between Jalen Hurts and Daniel Jones.
Well, that's one of the reasons I don't like passer rating as a statistic, because it doesn't take into account anything else. And one player I didn't mention was Lamar Jackson, who isn't in the same category. So if you start looking at all the great quarterbacks in this league, and I'm gonna run down, because I tried to pull up a list. I'm gonna run down the quarter, not in order, just so Lamar Jackson 1, Russell Wilson 2. And I'm not even counting the Matt Ryans and Derek Carrs and Kirk Cousins of the world, because they're not slam dunks. I'm talking about the slam dunks here, Jody. So I got Lamar Jackson, Russell Wilson, which is 2, Patrick Mahomes 3, Dak Prescott 4, Kyler Murray 5, Matthew Stafford 6, Aaron Rodgers 7, Justin Herbert 8, Josh Allen 9, Tom Brady 10, Joe Burrow 11. So those are the absolute slam dunks. Like, there's no argument that you can make to me to say that Jalen Hurts is going to be better than those quarterbacks. Those are slam dunk quarterbacks. And then you have that next tier, which is the Cars and the Cousins and that type. So you can see where you're getting down to middle of the road, 15, 16, and, you know, Matt Ryan. And then you can make art. I mean, guy we haven't brought up, Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston better? I'd rather have Jalen Hurts, but you can make an argument. I agree with you on Daniel Jones. Jimmy Garoppolo, we were just talking about. I'd rather have Jalen Hurts, but you can make an argument. Jimmy's the one who's been to the Super Bowl and the NFC Championship game, right? You know, you're a big Tua fan. I'd rather have Jalen, but, you know, you're going to make an argument for Tua, right? I know how much you like Justin Fields.
I got no problem. There's only one. It's Daniel Jones. We don't have to go any further than that. It's Daniel Jones. He's the guy. And if you were ticked off about him being ranked ahead of Jalen Hurts, I think you got every right to be that. All right. We got to take a quick timeout. We'll come back. We got more quarterback talk to talk about. And A.J. Brown, because Torrin Davenport from ESPN, their Titans reporter, is going to jump aboard with us, give us some more background on the Eagles' new star wide receiver. So good to be here with Mac and Mac on Birds 365.